The DCEU, as divisive as ever. And the fun thing is, you never know which side you're going to be on. I actually ended up thinking Man of Steel was pretty intriguing with some of the concepts, and ideas that it introduced as it kicked off the DCEU. I really loved Batman v Superman, as you might recall. I fought for that movie tooth and nail on the internets. And then, while I have a lot of respect for the Oscar-winning part of Suicide Squad, and also the costume design. And there, I have a lot of the ideas I really liked. I felt the execution was quite poor. And then here with Justice League, of course, who knows how the actual movie's going to turn out, but I felt the trailer was, to me, medium, as I said in my reaction. And as you can see from the comments over there, and the likes versus dislikes, you guys are divided as to how you feel. If you think this trailer is the most amazing thing you've ever seen, or if you feel it could be a little bit better. Now, I said that I think there was enough action in this trailer, and some of you said I was crazy. But let me explain. Posing isn't an action. The best example I can give you, I'm going to cut to something that's toward the end of the trailer right here, but it's an excellent example. I couldn't have a better example for what I'm saying. But you see how Wonder Woman takes these parademons off the top of, I'm assuming, the Batmobile? You see her come in, and it's very short. You don't see a lot of run-up of her coming. You're not with her, right? It's very quick. Then she gets the parademons, and then as you go across the top of the Batmobile, because you're so close, you don't see anything. You miss the whole takedown. And then you just cut to her over the back, standing there with the parademons. You have to look for them, actually. In the shot-by-shot, you can see them off to the sides on the corner there. So I don't see the actual takedown. I don't see, the immediate fallout. And I don't see the crash landing afterwards. And so that's what I mean by not action. And I stand by the comment, there's really very few screen grabs that you can take from this that, we haven't seen before or aren't, just like character shots, there's not, and therefore it's hard to differentiate between the teasers that came out over the last 2 days. That's really important. And the last thing that I want to say before we jump into this is that I was expecting to have a little bit of idea of, grounding for the story, particularly with that shot of Wonder Woman working in a museum. I was so excited to see under what context someone went to see her in that museum. And the fact that I didn't get to see it was frustrating to me. I don't want them to give too much away. And I think that someone wrote in the comments as a response to someone saying that there's a happy medium, and that's exactly what I think would have been better. Instead of feeling the trailer as medium, I would have liked a happy medium as to showing too much and then showing too little. All right, so let's get started. Let's dive in. There really is a lot to discuss. And there are still some great moments, and I think it's hilarious that Jason Momoa is the Harley Quinn of the Justice League. Fabulous! Okay. So this is interesting. Now this is Batman, of course. He's on a horse. He's here he's taking a break to get warm with the bat campfire, and maybe some bat s'mores packed by Alfred. But they're supposed to be really piquing your interest here. What's happening? What's he doing? Now, a number of you were like, oh, so let's keep going here. Why is Batman on a horse? I saw that comment. A pretty badass horse, right? He's like, it needs to be black, Alfred, because I only work in black and sometimes very, very dark gray. So he's loading up here. He's a very dark gray fur on the hood there. And the reason I think he's on a horse is because, as we all know, Zack Snyder really has a very nice relationship with Frank Miller. And pause it here, with him on the horse. And Frank Miller, of course, famously put Batman on a horse in The Dark Knight Returns, his famous story. The Batman v Superman drew a lot of inspiration from. So that's why he's on a horse, and also I think it's supposed to be like extra manly, he's like the Bat Marlboro man. So I think that's kind of the context that they have going on here. So what's he doing? Where is he going? All right, he's coming. He's going to Game of Thrones for an epic crossover. No, he's going to the most remote village known to man. Is this the only way to get there, right? That seems crazy to me. But, maybe he could go in through the ocean, but then Aquaman would know he was coming, right? So he's got to come in over the land. Speaking of that, there seems to be a lot of land action for, why do they need Aquaman? I'll be curious to see how he justifies his participation, considering it seems to be mostly a land adventure. But that, it looks very Jaws-like. I like it down there, but it's like a bleak Jaws, right? This is what happened if they hadn't caught the shark. Nobody likes the town. Nobody goes there. There's no tourism here. Partially because no one can get to it. And they reveal that it's Bruce Wayne with the gray hair. Reed Richards style. Now, I liked this. So we cut away from that for a moment. And we go see Cyborg's dad, played by Joe Morton, everybody's favorite scientist from the Terminator franchise. When I just see Joe Morton, I'm happy. And I really think this is great. At first, I was like, who has that many umbrellas? That's nuts. But then I was like, oh, does that mean he has a nice family and they have to have a lot of umbrellas for, not only like Cyborg, but, his siblings and, his mom. And I thought that was really nice. It created a nice sense of family. Although Zack Snyder's so distinct in his production design because, everyone has the same looking apartment. Like, if you were told that this was Lois and Clark's apartment, you'd believe it, right? It's funny. But, I think it does create a look for the movie. Now, this threw me. I was like, why is there a mother box in a closet? First of all, didn't you use a mother box to make Cyborg already that was shown in Batman v Superman? So this, totally threw me. And also, why is there a mother box in a closet, right? Talk about finding hidden treasures when you finally do the cleaning. There's a freaking mother box in here next to the vacuum. And then you can see Vic's trophies are in front. So it makes you feel that maybe Vic has so many trophies. That's why. Or also, there's always with Cyborg been this idea that he and his father don't get along because his father doesn't value his accomplishments in athletics because he's a scientist. So that would be pretty hardcore, though, if he's like, I don't want these out in the house. You're going to embarrass me in front of my scientist friends that I have a jock son. So they're all stuffed in the closet. Or also maybe Vic's been injured, and that's why it's here. Is this a flashback, maybe? I don't know. I don't understand. There's only supposed to be 3 mother boxes. One's with the Amazons. One's in Themyscira. With the Amazons in Themyscira. The other's in Atlantis. So the other one should be Cyborg. Unless he's, hanging out in the closet. He can turn into a mother box. But then you see something cool happen here. And now this threw me, too. Now, first of all, who doesn't want to see a parademon? That's pretty neat. They look nice. The glowing eyes are a nice touch. They're the wings. But also, how to get into this house? That's amazing breaking and entering skills considering the size of that thing. And I don't think parademons, they're not ninjas. Let's just put it that way. But the other thing is that did he come out of the mother box? And then why wouldn't he hear the boom tube? So how do boom tubes work here? Are they not going to have boom tubes? Because I'm going to be pretty disappointed if there's not a big sonic boom sound and a giant boom tube that people walk or fly through. And so I'm just, again, it takes me out of it because I'm like, it doesn't add up or match any continuity and storytelling that I know or that's even been introduced in the DCEU so far. And then I'm like, be careful, Joe Morton. There's a parademon behind you. So we'll see. Why would one mother box be in Atlantis, one in Themyscira, and one in the Stone family closet? That seems ridiculous to me. Okay, all right, so anyway, Wonder Woman's like, those files I clicked on? It's time to really click on them and bring them into the group. And I like that he's like, oh yeah, I knew you liked that file I sent you. When I was like, I liked it too. I liked when she was clicking through on stuff because we click through stuff all the time in real life. I thought it was very realistic. I liked it. So here they are on the Flying Fox, which is their mobile headquarters. And you're going to see their other vehicle show up later on in this trailer. They're introducing 2 new vehicles. So there's Aquaman. He's like, the Aquaman. He's rescuing that individual. I liked this scene, actually. And so he throws him down. He's like, there, he's not dead. You're welcome. Now, this was great. I like that he gets a beer, and he's like, it's on him. I thought that was fabulous. Although, I think, actually, he didn't get, he just took the leftover alcohol, or he took something out of someone's hand. Is that the bartender? I don't know. Aquaman is not afraid of germs, apparently. He's like, whatever, I'll finish it. I don't care whose lips are on this. And I like that he says it's on him. Yeah, damn straight it's on him. He saved your life. I'm with Aquaman on this. Free drinks for him. I would think that I would have a fund of all the fishermen saying, he drinks here for free all the time because I don't want to drown. Okay. So I like that's also, by the way, some of the best acting I've ever seen Jason Momoa do. I'm very impressed. I'm excited. So here, I don't know why he's, what's going on here? Is he in the house? Does that look, oh, actually it looks like maybe his house. Is he investigating? Maybe something happened to his father. Oh, you know what? I bet his father was taken. I bet his father was taken because you're going to see him, you see him a little further down in this trailer in another scenario. You know, I wonder if the hoodie, to some degree, is supposed, you know, you always think of Trayvon Martin at this point. I think it's a very strong political statement. So I hope that it's done respectfully here, if that is what they're going for. I don't like the blue light. Now here he is again. By the way, Wonder Woman or Diana is like, oh, he's organic and metal. He's a cyborg. And I'm like, he looks, well, I hope they talk about that he's, I'd say like 95% metal, like very little human left. I think that would be an interesting thing to explore. But you can see he's holding a mother box there, and it looks to me like a containment unit, right? I'm not sure. But isn't he a mother box? So this is later on in the movie. Again, I'm totally thrown. It's a mother box carrying another mother box. Ah, crazy. It's like Russian nesting dolls. And see here, he's blasting something out for this falling, and that's his father, I believe, and I'm not sure quite who else is involved. So he blasts the rocks out of the way, and this is pretty interesting. I think there's obviously a big fight scene that takes place at the Superman Memorial. I see a number of people asking, where's Superman? And I feel bad for those people because that's just how far out they are of knowing their DC lore. And I feel bad because I'm worried that they're going to have trouble catching up with the whole movie. That would be an important thing to maybe have shown, to maybe have a voiceover or some discussion of like Superman, just to reiterate, Superman's dead, we have to assemble all the heroes left in his honor, right? I think that maybe they should have maybe set that up so that you didn't have people going like, where's Henry Cavill? I saw him on the on-set videos. I know he's in the movie. What? He's Instagramming about it, but I think this is a Metropolis Park, and I don't know if that's still the ship that's still there. You know, they covered it up in Lex Luthor, that's where he made Doomsday. But I think that's a Metropolis PD car, and this is a tank that's going towards that policeman. And so Cyborg can fly. Here he comes in. I think his face is covered with this helmet like he can do, as you'll see later on in this trailer. He stops the tank really well. I'm not quite sure why it wouldn't send him forward, like he could slow the momentum down. His ability to stay in midair, hovering in midair while being hit with such a heavy projectile, going at such a strong speed. I don't know. I'm not his father in terms of science, but it doesn't seem like that would work to me. But anyway, this is Ray Fisher's one line, and I think he nailed it. I think he was really good. I thought his delivery was excellent. He came from the theater, and I can see that in his acting. That was very good. Now here we've seen this before. This is now that we didn't see that. This is him running. I could watch Barry run all day. If they just said he's just gonna run for like 10 minutes in the movie, I'd be like, okay, put my feet up. It's very calming. So I like the blue lightning. Although I don't watch the CW Flash, so I'm not really married to the yellow lightning to begin with. So there, I like the path he leaves. I think that's pretty neat as well. He's done that in the comics, but with the blue, it's a really neat energy. I think it's really pretty. So here he is again denying it, as we've seen before, and then he's like, pop quiz. And I love this. I had not seen this before when he says, you're the Batman. I thought that Ezra Miller's delivery here was excellent. Like, that not only does that change everything, but I have a lot of respect for you. Which totally is blown at the end of the trailer. We'll discuss when we get there. But I thought this was great. I thought he showed the appropriate amount of reverence when you find yourself in the presence of the Batman. So I thought the delivery was perfect. There was so much going on there in just a single line. So I thought that was excellent. And he's like, and they're like, in case you don't know who the Batman is, I have to say, part of me is like, what is that grappling hook line attached to? So it's like winged monster versus winged monster. The win goes to Batman. Takes him out. Now, I wonder what's going on here. Now, if someone's like, oh, this is action, Grace. This is very computery. And again, I would have liked to have seen maybe like a little more follow through. So yeah, he's pulling a weapon from his utility belt. Always love when the utility belt gets a shout out. Throws it, bam, right on that guy. But apparently it doesn't kill him because, Batman got in a lot of trouble for that in the first movie. Even though, once you're a bad guy, I think, you kind of lose some sympathy here. And I would have loved if Batman had come forward and, done a little bit more action. So there, I didn't like this shot at all. I really disliked this shot. I was like, is there really a moment in the movie when they all stand on a ridge and kind of like laugh to each other and be like, we are a great team, aren't we? I was like, please don't do that. Okay, so here's some more stuff going on. It's the same thing that we saw with Batman swinging earlier. And again, I'd be like, oh my God, there's fire. And like Aquaman, there's not even humidity around. This must be killing you. So Aquaman's like, I'm going to leap. I think he'd be hot in that outfit he has on. I guess this is his armor. That was pretty cool. I like the way he's like, oh, guess what I'm having for dinner? And I like the way he just impales that one. And it's going to be a double impale. Yeah. Although, I don't know how it can't be a double impale, can it? Because the trident spears aren't that long. All right. So anyway, now this I did not like. I have not liked Wonder Woman's hair. And here for some reason her skirt seems shorter. Like, all the things I've seen her do in the Wonder Woman trailers, I've never been like, that's going to so hurt when you slide in there, Wonder Woman. Like, do you ever see League of Their Own and the problem they had with having to slide into base, and that's why they had to change their uniforms? Great movie. But that's kind of what I think of when I see this. I'm like, that is on that floor. Oh, it's going to hurt so bad. So she goes in. We've seen this move done in the Wonder Woman trailer. Now, right here, at first I was like, what's with this upskirt shot and butt cheek? I saw so many upskirt shots in the Wonder Woman trailer. I never saw any butt cheek ever. It was like cheerleading, underwear. And I really, I felt not only was it not appropriate, and I kind of felt bad for Gal Gadot that she was asked to do that. But then here I got a little, and then when I had it frozen anyway, I was like, oh, is her leg injured? I can't tell if her leg is injured or if that's the red on her armor, but even when you go through, I think she might be injured, which would be cool. I would like to see some people get injured. And then it's tough when you go through frame by frame on, stunts, because she actually never makes contact with this guy. Sorry, ruined your stunt. And then I think her hair, she just doesn't have enough of it. She should, if she needs a wig, she needs a wig. Again, as I said before, there's no shame in it. It's the original extension. Just let's fix it. And I mean, her hair is perfect in every single shot of the Wonder Woman trailer. It's a marvel to behold. Okay. Now here, you can see he's not only flying again, but see how much better he looks at the blue dot? But also, maybe this is why Deathstroke shows up. He's like, who stole my look? I'd be like, that looks a lot like Deathstroke. And, wouldn't you want to see with the other eye? Or was he, when he's like this mode, because you can't see his humanity anyway, does he lose his humanity? I've liked in the comic they've explored the idea that he can split his humanity away from his the artificial intelligence aspect of himself and run on two levels. I thought that was pretty neat. So maybe they'll explore that. Now this is crazy. The bat plane has to come up afterwards, and like, let's do a fun sky ballet. It's very pretty though. That is pretty nice. Now, we saw this before, but now we're seeing the other side of this sequence. We saw Flash standing like this before in the Comic-Con trailer, but here he is taking on a parademon. You can see their wings, very conveniently retract into a form that doesn't need as much CGI work. So that's good for the team. Now here you can see he's like, okay, I'll take care of this. And he's able to, I love the way Ezra Miller moves as this character. There's like a yoga ballet aspect to it that's really neat, and it distinguishes him, he is very much, the nerd of the group, and so you don't want him to be like, and Cyborg is going to be the jock. And so I think that's really important to make sure that they're very different. So there, I love, he's like not even just like the nerd. I don't think that even touches it correctly. He's also like the goth kid, like the alternative kid, which is really neat. It's perfect for Ezra Miller. He's very well cast. If anyone can give Jason Momoa a run for his money in this movie, it's Ezra Miller's Flash. So there, he's able to dodge the fire there. And then he comes up behind this parademon, and you'll see he gives him a little push. I think that's just absolutely fabulous. I think that it's great. And, of course, it's like they talked about with Quicksilver in the recent X-Men movies, that if he just touches you a little bit, the force, the science of it makes it just creates so much more force. And that's why it's just a little, and you can see he's very gentle about it because he knows what he's doing. He knows the science of it. He just goes, boop, there you go, right through the doors. And you can see maybe even then he wasn't careful enough. Now this exchange is funny, but it's out of character. So he says, what's your superpower again? And he goes, I'm rich. And I got a laugh from me. It's very funny. But many of you pointed out that's really what Tony Stark says all the time. And I really think it's more true with Tony Stark. I think that Batman is underselling himself. I feel like as a huge Batman fan, I should be in the back seat there and lean forward and go, well, actually, Barry, Bruce is underselling himself. He's actually a master detective, genius strategist, and he has an iron willpower. Now, they'd be like, isn't that Green Lantern's thing, the willpower? And I'm like, I've never really seen them show great willpower with the Green Lanterns, even though it's supposed to be all about willpower. But anyway, I also conviction. Batman has great conviction. He just will not give up because, he knows what's the right thing to do, or what has to be done. And so I think that just to chop it down and boil it down to I'm rich, I don't think that's fair to the character, even though it is a laugh. So that's what we would call a cheap laugh. All right. Now that's the Nightcrawler. A Nightcrawler? Are you kidding me? That's a very famous X-Men character. I'm not looking forward to that. It's just like every time I talk about the planet Apocalypse, where Darkseid is from, who's that's where all the stuff's coming from in the movie, all the alien stuff. Everyone goes, are you talking about X-Men Apocalypse? And I'm like, no, or the character Apocalypse from X-Men? And I'm like, no, this is with a K. All right, so anyway, now this is the Nightcrawler vehicle. This is interesting. So he jumps down to it, and I thought that was cool. I liked. It took me several times, and I'm still not quite sure how he's moving around in this. But clearly, this compartment you can move yourself around, to justify what part of it you want to use. And I like though when he says, "Okay, my turn." That's very Batman-y. I liked that. Also, for some reason with these yellow lights, it's very Lego Batman-y. All right. So here he's firing a parademon out of the sky that had the jump on Wonder Woman, apparently. She's down. Her sword isn't in her hand. What's going on here, Wonder Woman? Get your act together. You're embarrassing me. So then, here as you can see, now she's going for the sword. And this is the Nightcrawler crawling up the side of this building. Now here, I like this. Who doesn't love a good football in the snow shot? Those are so much fun. I love the clip reels they show at the Super Bowl every year. And I always do enjoy when they're playing in the snow. And of course, Cyborg is on the Gotham University football team. And his dad doesn't come to any of his games. All right, now here, this was interesting to me. So I think for sure now this confirms that Wonder Woman is the bastard child of Zeus, the child of Zeus and Hippolyta, because she definitely has lightning powers. This is the second time we've seen it. Although I'm interested to see why she's able to generate them just off of her shield. Is that a bigger explosion than just the two gauntlets? Aquaman's like, what are you doing? I thought only the Flash had those powers. And so you see, I don't know if that explosion is her or not. And then here's more of the Flash running, and he's zigzagging too. Now there you go, Lois. I think this is probably gonna be toward the end of the movie where she's like, Clark, and then maybe he'll be like in his black suit, and maybe he'll be evil and brainwashed by Darkseid. We'll see. She's like, I've stopped doing my hair and my makeup because you're not here anymore. How embarrassing. I should have been ready every single day for your return. I'm telling you, the hair and makeup team has got to pay attention. It's really important. Jason Momoa's hair and makeup team, they're no slackers. So finally he gets to use his water abilities. Looks pretty cool there. Oh, and everybody was like, Grace, why are you talking about Mera? She's not doing anything. So there's Amber Heard. She's got some, I'd be curious to see if this is Xebel, where she's supposed to be from in the comics, or if it's Atlantis. I don't think she's met Aquaman yet, because I don't think he's rightfully taken his place in Atlantis. So we'll see. But I wish that they had shown her creating some kind of like sword or some kind of weapon with water, because that's like her coolest power. Like anyone from Xebel, that's why they're there, to show their cool power set, which is they basically can water bend. It's really neat. I actually can't wait to see it. Let's see here. Now this is of course Billy Crudup, aka Dr. Manhattan, reuniting with Zack Snyder. So he's in prison, and he is from the comics accused of murdering Barry's mother. And obviously Barry doesn't believe it, or he wouldn't be visiting his dad. So that's one of the reasons he becomes a criminologist, CSI. At least in the comics. We'll see what's going on here. But, he's visiting his dad. But, he probably could break him out, but then his dad would be on the run forever. So that's very touching. Ezra Miller's a great actor. Now, this is a big battle. And I saw some of you say, oh, it's the Amazons fighting the Atlanteans. No, they're not. Okay? I can't tell you too much, but I can just tell you that's not what's happening. Okay? That looks to me like maybe alien forces back there. All right, so let's see here. So that is the Amazons. Everybody can leap. Look at that Amazon. That Amazon just has a bra on. You guys need some more coverage. Okay. All right, so going in there. Now this is great. This was so fast it's hard to even see. This is from the social media the social media teaser, but I do like that Parademon's flying at him, by the way. The Parademon's like, it's on! And he's like, I'm just gonna... All right, so here's that shot again with the Parademons on the top of the Batmobile, and Wonder Woman's like, I'll help you, but you don't need to see it. Now, as you guys have pointed out, yep, Cyborg's crying over something. It's probably his dad. That would be very sad. I think that's Flash, actually, right behind him. Flash's shoulder. Let's see. I'm glad he's not alone, at least. And yes, I do think this is Steppenwolf's axe, electro axe underwater. There's Aquaman showing off his awesome tattoos. So, but this is before he's wearing his uniform at all. So it must be earlier in the movie. Maybe Steppenwolf comes for the mother box at Atlantis first. So this is great. I think this is again in Metropolis. Those are those balloons we saw from the behind the scenes. You know, it's at the memorial. I love when Flash runs. So we didn't see this before. Wonder Woman drops into this formation. And I like that Aquaman's like, whoa, I was gonna lead this party, but that's fine. Ladies first. And she does want to take over, and she's like, here we go, we're ready, or something like that. And they're like, Justice League. Now here's Commissioner Gordon, basically being J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons, though, is very well cast as Commissioner Gordon. One of you said it looks like he has like a Halloween level store mustache on. It's pretty bushy, I'll give you that, but I'm such a big Jim Gordon fan, I'm going to really root for J.K. Simmons to do a good job here. So they're together again, bringing the band back. He's like, I'm glad to see you playing with others. And you can see Wonder Woman's there as well. But I'm glad he doesn't have like a bowler on. I much prefer the fedora on Gordon. But anyway, I like that he's like dressed as a bat. I can dig it. It was hilarious. It was so funny. Because I think like in real life, Jason Momoa would hang out with somebody who was dressed like a bat. But here's the thing. I don't think they do enough because he undercuts himself like that and says just because I'm rich. Why is he dressed like a bat? Like if you're going to go with Tony Stark wears an Iron Man suit, which is a suit of armor. It makes total sense. But why the bat motif? If you're not showing him do cool things like scurry across the ceiling like you did in Batman v Superman and drop from the ceiling, what is the point of the Batman aspect? Like Batman's he's gotta earn the new DCEU universe's respect and show what he can do. And so it's frustrating as a Batman fan to be like, I got nothing to rebuke you, Aquaman, because you're right, he is just standing here amongst us dressed like a bat. And he is paying for everything. And also, I don't think in the comics Batman pays for everything. I think a lot of it comes from the U.S. government. And also, Superman can make diamonds out of coal just by squeezing them real hard. So I'm never under the impression in the comics that Batman paid for everything. He only pays for his own stuff, to be perfectly honest with you. And so then here, it looks like he's going to have to buy a new Batmobile at the end of this. Aquaman is riding on the top of it. And he says like, yeah, or yeehaw or something. That threw me. I thought that was crazy. I was like, aren't you from Maine? All right, so anyway, it still is a cool shot, though. It's the best shot in the entire trailer. And then he's like, and the Batman's like, do it. You're so boss. Like, I'm happy to share the stage with you. And so then he jumps up, and as you can see really fast, Cyborg is flying alongside them. So you can see him having some jet propulsion there. Now look at that. Right into those 3 parademons. And it looks like, I don't know. It looks like maybe it didn't go so well, right? But I'm sure when they land, he'll fix it. Aquaman's like, this is just a temporary setback. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, Cyborg goes after him to help. That's pretty cool. Thanks, buddy. All right, so that's my thoughts. That's the shot-by-shot breakdown of the trailer. I'd be very curious to know what you think of it. What do you think of the different things that are brought up here? What do you think of my criticisms? And then also, what do you like about the trailer if you think it turned out really well? And do you think that maybe they should have given a little bit more grounding of the story? Like, what's at stake? Why are they all coming together? I mean, they already established they were all going to come together at the end of the Batman v Superman, but maybe this is just to kind of show them in action together, and we'll get a little bit more story with the second trailer. I by no means think this is game over for Justice League. It's just not the strong out of the gate start I would have hoped for. But anyway, that's my reaction, my breakdown. I look forward to continuing the conversation with you down below, and you can check out some more videos right now.